how to actually gauge a well's production in the mountains. Stay tuned to the end. We're going to talk all about this. This is super important if you live up here and you're looking at buying with a well. I'll talk all about it.
Hey guys, I'm James Dean, team leader of the James D. Mountain Homes team. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Just really quick before we get into the meat of this video, I just wanted to make sure if you haven't done so already, hit that subscription button down below, hit that notification bell. That keeps you updated on all the new videos that we have coming out weekly. We've got several that come out each week on this channel, so please stay up to date with that. Also, if you've got any questions whatsoever that are real estate related or just in the community, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and give us a call. You can either call us at 719-266-2725. You can text us to that number as well, or you can email us at info@jdmret.net. Please, whatever you got to do to get those questions to us, please ask. We're here to help. We're here to provide value to you and helping you make informed decisions, whether you're looking to buy or sell real estate or just typical questions for the community out here. We are local experts of this area and we love this area. So please reach out to us, and we hope you guys enjoy this video.
Okay, today guys, we're going to talk about wells and well production. So wells in the mountains are a very unique thing. We're not tapping into aquifers. We're not tapping into these massive underwater reservoirs of water, which is what an aquifer is, that allows you to pull from it. We are literally searching for water within the rocks up here in the mountains. And you can have wells at 100 feet deep. You can have wells at 600 plus feet deep out there too. It really depends on what happens. And to run through a really quick just ideas so you know what happens when they're actually digging a well is, number one, you got to apply for a permit. The permit comes through, and I'm going to definitely, this is going to be very abbreviated. So you apply for a permit through Colorado Department of Well Resources. And once that permit comes through, you're going to have a witcher come out. They're going to witch the land. So they literally come out with a willow. Some of them do it with a piece of metal, and they will literally find where the driller is going to drill. Most drillers will not even drill until the witcher comes out and takes a look at that and identifies where they should drill. Then the driller comes out and they start drilling for water. And depending on how far they need to go down, and depending on how much it's going to cost also for that one, I'm trying not to say well for the well, but that's going to really be what determines the cost. So they can give you an estimate of what's happened in that area, but one lot can be very different than another lot sitting right next to it. For instance, currently have clients with a lot they've got under contract in Colorado Mountain Estates. That well that's on that lot produces 35 gallons per minute, which is unheard of. That is definitely a gusher. They're going to have to actually scale that down with the pump down to 15 gallons per minute, which is the maximum allowed well production within a single family residence within Colorado. But you've got that well right there, and then you got other wells right next door that are producing a half gallon per minute or less out there. So it's very independent on what's going on directly underneath you, and it can be very different even on lots that are right next to each other. So the driller is going to literally give you an estimate so you can know they're going to require you to put down a deposit on that as well. They're going to drill down until that well is producing or until you run out of money on that and how far you can go down. And then they're going to put a sleeve down to protect it that's perforated. And then they're also going to put down piping with a pump down at the bottom that's going to produce water. Now, I'm just kind of giving this is very brief, and obviously it's got to have power out to it too. This is very brief because I just want you to understand as we go into like the formulas. So it's not uncommon to see wells at 3 gallons per minute, half a gallon per minute, a quarter of a gallon per minute. There's lots of different things that kind of go into this. But what we're going to do is we're going to break this down. So when they drill down, so let's say they go down, and I've got an example here for you. Let's say the well is 260 feet deep. So you got 260 feet deep that it goes down. Okay, that's how far down the well has been drilled down. The static level of that well is sitting at 27 feet. So 27 feet below the surface is where the water begins in that well. So you got 27 feet where it starts, goes all the way down to 260 feet. There are 233 feet of water in that well. So from the static all the way down to the bottom is 233 feet. Now we're going to multiply that times 1.5 because there's 1.5 gallons per foot drilled in the well. That's going to give us 349.5 gallons of water. So that's what we call the reserve amount. So everybody's hope is familiar with the way a toilet works. You've got your toilet bowl in the back and it's got water in it. And that water is what's used when you flush it. It's going to go down and it's going to flush everything down the toilet, and then that water is going to fill back up. But that water is what allows you to be able to have that water on demand to flush that toilet. Now, a well, it works very similar with that, with the reserve. So you got that reserve amount, that 233 feet from the static level at 27, all the way down to the very bottom where the well was drilled at 260 feet. That 233 feet of water times 1.5 gallons per linear foot, or per foot drilled in that well, ends up being at 349.5 gallons. Now, that's important because Denver Water, or the Colorado Department of Well Resources, states that the average person uses anywhere between 50 and 75 gallons of water per day. So we're going to go on the most conservative and say 75 gallons of water per day. That's what we're going to utilize in this. So if you have the average person use 75 gallons of water per day, times 4 individuals living in a house, that's 300 gallons a day that's being used. So that's almost our entire reserve of what we're talking about here with 349.5. We're just gonna call it 350 just to have easy numbers on this. So that's all but 50 gallons. But the difference is those gallons per minute, that well flow rate is what's gonna fill that well back up to that static level. So when we have the well doing that, because we're not going to use those 300 gallons like that. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to happen throughout the use of water throughout the day in that home. So as that water gets used down, it's going to start refilling back up to the static level. Now, depending on what that well's gallon per minute is, depending upon how fast that's going to fill back up. So we're going to use 3 gallons per minute in this example. So if we have 3 gallons per minute times 60, so that's 180 gallons per hour, and then times 24, that becomes 4,320 gallons per day. Now, when you see 3 gallons per minute, you think, wow, that's not really a whole lot. But when we go through the formula and we look at that, over 4,000 gallons per day, you're not going to have any problem with that reserve, that 350 gallons sitting in there being completely replenished as it comes back up. So it's really important to know and understand that. Let's say this well only produced half a gallon per minute. Let's see what would happen then. So your well, if it only produces half a gallon per minute, but it's got the same static level and it's got the same depth on there, so only 233 feet of water, which is approximately 350 gallons of water in there, we're going to see a half a gallon per minute equate to 720 gallons per day that is going to refill. Now that's still way above what that well needs to replenish its water. So this is why it's important to, number one, have a local real estate agent that understands these, so that while you're looking at properties out here or you're understanding your well, you really have an idea of what your well is producing. Now, something else that I always recommend to folks, if your well is not a brand new well, more than likely it was probably drilled back in the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, it really depends on when they did that well. And they may have had different production numbers then than you have now. I always recommend to folks that if the well looks like it's going to have any kind of an issue, to get a flow test put on. Now that's not always required, but if it looks like there's anything that looks like it might be borderline, I'm absolutely going to have and recommend you do a flow test. But if it looks like it's solid, I mean, it's completely up to you whether or not you want to spend that. We have our vendors out there that will come out, they'll do it either right before or right after the inspection. They can't do it during the inspection because inspectors got to use the water to test things like the tubs, the sinks for leaks and toilets, all that fun stuff as well. But they can do it within that inspection period just so that you can get that peace of mind. Now, you will see some places out here that have wells with cisterns attached. What does that mean? Usually, when there's a well with a cistern that's attached, what they're utilizing that cistern for is additional reserve. So if they need additional reserve, they will have the cistern there that'll be like a 1,500 gallon cistern that'll fill up during the night while you're not using it. And let's say the well only has 100 gallons reserve in it. You add that cistern, now it's got quite a bit more reserve in there as well, because you got that 1,500 gallon tank in there and you've got enough water to last you for a long time. So you use that water, it's going to use out of the cistern and the reserve first, and then it's going to refill with that cistern. So it helps you to guarantee that your house isn't going to run out of water. And I tell you this because there's places like I've got a listing right now. It is a monstrous house. It's got lots of bedrooms. And if you think of filling that place up, it's daunting. It's only got a half gallon per minute well out there, but it's got a 1,300 gallon cistern also. So that 1,300 gallon cistern completely offsets the ability for that well to hold enough static to be able to control, to be able to have enough water in place for the highest demand in that house. It allows that ability for it to replenish for that household to have plenty of water out there too. So I hope this makes sense. If you guys have any questions regarding any of this, please don't hesitate to ask. I would love to help answer those. But I'm hoping that this kind of helps break down wells and takes a lot of the scariness out of it, because wells can be a fantastic way to get water. And I'll tell you this, I live on a well and I love that well water. It is the cleanest water you can get out here in Colorado, much cleaner than the city municipal waters. But it's good to understand the systems that you have and why those work the way they do and why it's important for us to know those numbers. So I hope you found this helpful, and I can't wait to see you till the next time.
Guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that video. And once again, before you sign off, make sure you hit that subscription button, that notification bell down below. That will keep you updated on all the new videos that we have come out that are here to inform you and help keep you updated on what's happening here, both in the community and in real estate as well. And once again, too, if you've got any questions, please do not hesitate to give us a call, 719-266-2725. You can text us at that number as well, or you can email us at info@jdmret.net, and we will get back to you as quickly as possible to answer all of those questions. We're here to serve you, and we look forward to helping you soon.